So today is the first day of a new self-care journey that I'm on, that I'm going to be documenting, and I wanted to share with you. So I'm really excited about this. So I'm going to call this journey my 10% happier journey, and that name comes from a concept that was created by the news anchor Dan Harris, and he created it now to be meditation courses. And I want to give you a little bit of a backstory to tell you about that and where I am now, even on day one. So, about maybe 2 years ago, I had a panic attack, and it was a really wild experience. It was something that led me down a journey of, really studying because I've always been a pretty happy go lucky guy. I've always been a very positive guy. And for the most part, a relatively stress free guy. And I still am, but I was going through some things, and even now, uh, I reflect on some things that really is the cause for this journey. So I had a panic attack. I started studying because I knew even when I was going through it that this is what it was, even though it was the first time. It's just my intuition, I guess. So as I started to study and learn about, how to deal with it, what it was, and the ins and outs, I came across Dan Harris's story. He's a news reporter who had a panic attack on air, and it led him down a path of seeking to learn about meditation and just learn, some techniques to deal with what he was dealing with. And that, I guess, that's what led him to meditation. Uh, I've studied a lot of things, but the thing that connected with me about his story is that as Dan went on that quest, he studied with like different spiritual gurus, if you will, or enlightened masters, if you will, around the world. And at some point, and there's a documentary you can check out online, at some point, he made a distinction between really appreciating what he learned about the science behind meditation and the real helpfulness, and separating it from some of the religious and spiritual, things that was incorporated with it, with these different masters and with other people's, practices and that kind of thing. And he's a bit of a skeptic, and I can relate to that as well myself. So his story and what he came up with resonated with me because it is meditation, um, without some of the extra things that for us as skeptics would have us not being able to sink into the meditative exercises because we don't quite agree with the ideas or the premises, or they're, kind of way out there, and it defeats the whole purpose of what we're trying to do. So anyway, that led him to create uh, this course, this meditate, and really his course is a concept called 10% Happier, and he actually wrote an audiobook as well. And this is an app that you can download, and it is amazing. It's filled with meditative courses, exercises, and just mindfulness training. I believe there's music there and just all kinds of stuff. And it's contributed, or the contributions are from many different authors, many different experts in the field of meditation and mindfulness, and it's just amazing. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to document this journey because I feel like this is a resource that so many people can use as well. Um, yeah, so this is day one, and I wanted to tell you also about this first day and the course that I put myself in, and the one that I'm going to be doing over the next several days before I go into the other features. So it's a course called Phrases for Stress, and it's by Joseph Goldstein. Really good so far. I'm on lesson one, and we're talking about causes of stress. And I really like it. I'm going to be bouncing back and forth for a second just to tell you about the features of this app as well as the actual content. But I like it because there's like a little trailer, like a little video trailer, where you're watching Dan and the teachers, and then it goes into a separate meditation right afterwards in the app. It's really really nifty. It tracks your progress. Um, it's just really good. I can go on and on, but I know how long winded I can be, so I won't. So phrases for stress and the reasons why we stress. What he explained was they talked about attachment and aversion. They talked about things that we want and things that we don't want and how we handle them mentally. And I want to tell you about a little dream that I had several years ago that was it really spoke volumes to me, and it's kind of been the core of me being stress free for so long. So I had a dream that I was traveling from one location to another, and where I was coming from, the distance between where I was coming from and where I was going was only like maybe 3 or 4 blocks. So I set out from one location to walk to this next place. It was a pretty nice day, all was well, and I was preparing myself for this probably 10, maybe 15-minute walk. And along that walk, there was a truck that came, and the person that was driving the truck said, "Hey, would you like to, I'll give you a ride. Like, do you need a ride?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm only going up a couple blocks up the street, but what the hey?" So I jumped in the truck, and then before we got to that destination, the truck broke down. And it was really interesting because I realized at that moment I could have one of two experiences. I could either allow myself not to be thrown off track by what happened and realize like I was walking the whole time anyway, so you know, or I could look at it as a letdown. To make a long story short, after I came out of this dream, I realized that I didn't need to allow good things in life to, I didn't need to be attached to good things. I didn't need to allow it to take me out of my place of like peace and contentment. And I also, of course, didn't need to allow bad things. And the bad things, that I was pretty used to that, as most people are, not letting that get to you. But not allowing good things to take you from, a place of peace as well was like a whole other lesson for me. So that's what resonated with me about what they were talking about. They immediately went to enjoying things without attachment or clinging to them. And then, of course, when it comes to, aversion, um, being able to, not be attached to things that are a problem for you or fearful for you. And I really appreciate that. And then it went into a meditation that gave you some ways to just recognize when you were dealing with that kind of thought and how to put an end to those kind of thoughts and just come back to center, if you will, or come back to your breathing in this case and just relax. And so that was extremely helpful. This was just like a 7-minute meditation, but it was very, very helpful because it just allowed you to really check your mind. When I started meditating in 2012 or 2013, I want to say, I bought this course that was like it was like an Eastern mysticism type of course dealing with meditation, like really from the realms of like Hinduism and Eastern mysticism. And I loved it. I still have it. And it was amazing. It had great guided meditations and everything. But one of the first things I learned about meditation is that everybody thinks that the goal is to clear your mind. Like, well, everybody thinks that the main point is for you to stop your thoughts, and that's the only way you're successful at meditating, and that's the whole point. But the truth is, I remember somebody saying a while back, I think it was Carlton Pearson, what you resist persists. So what you learn is that the goal is not to try to force the thoughts to stop. It's just to observe them and to allow yourself to still relax and not allow those thoughts to just take you away. And even if they do, recognizing that and then coming back to just focusing on your breathing. It's such a simple thing, but because our minds are always racing, day to day and from thing to thing, yeah, it takes time, it takes intention, and that's really why I'm on this journey. Another thing about this that I think is very important is the other day I ran across an article about overthinking and overanalyzing and how it really affects you. And I'm definitely a person who overthinks, always been an overanalyzer, but it has worked to my advantage to date to allow me to get through complex problems in life, really to allow me all the success that I've had so far, because like I literally plan in my sleep. Like I'm so used to thinking things all the way through, thinking of every scenario, problem solving, even hypotheticals, and it has really helped me in life. But the thing that I'm learning now, though, is that when you're dealing with stress or anxiety or depression, or when you have a lot of things in your life that are triggers, for those different conditions, it works against you, and you can find yourself overanalyzing, overthinking, and like in these loops that just hurt you more than help you, especially if you're overthinking something that like can't be solved at the moment, or like requires patience, or is out of your control, especially, or is bringing you anxiety, or what have you. So I shared that article on Facebook. I'll put it in the description of this video again if you want to look at it. I also put in the description of this video the 10% happier link so you can find out more info on that. And yeah, I'm just excited to bring you with me on this journey. So yeah, I learned a few things, about not overthinking, and about the causes of stress and some of the things that you can do to be able to recenter yourself. So I'm really excited about this journey. I'm going to be doing it every day. I'm going to be starting my day with these meditations, and I'm going to be documenting my journey in this form of video as well as right now. And if you're listening to it afterwards on the podcast, then it'll be audio as well. And yeah, I'm just excited. So that's about it. I'm really interested in you dropping a line and let me know what you think. And I'm interested in you staying with me on this journey, for support, as well as just I'm going to be teaching all the things that I learned and just sharing them for what they're worth. So, of course, those of you all that stay with me regularly know that the greatest gift to me is giving a gift to another. So, one final thing, and then I'll be out of here. So what you hear playing in the background is my song from my newest project, Key Reflections, called Yellows of Spring. And the reason why I decided to play this song is that when I was listening to the meditation, these were meditations that were just a voice, and I wanted to play my song in the background because I love using music as a part of the meditation. Those of you all that listen to those kind of meditations know that it's very helpful for relaxing you. And I'm super excited because as I'm on this self care journey, I've entered the field as a contributor as well, because my newest project is like the first line of my brand of meditative music. And I'm really excited about it. In fact, I'm going to be uh, contacting the creators of this app and seeing if I can be a contributor as far as music and as far as what I'll eventually be doing, which are like guided meditations and a concept that I have called Deep Grooves, which are songs or tracks with tracks with vocals as well as like verbal pieces, my quotes, motivational ideas and guided meditations that's geared towards neurological reprogramming. So yeah, I'm just really excited. I'm on this journey for myself and for my own self-care and my own healing, and at the same time I see my place in it as a contributor. So this first entry in this journey, it means a lot to me because the last thing, is that this is, I see it as a whole new branch of my brand, you know, and so that's why I'm so excited, and even why I'm going on and on about this. So thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for taking this journey with me. Take care. Peace.